Fans of the late Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Leon Russell, who died in 2016, celebrate his birthday every year on April 2nd. And this year, they'll have another reason to celebrate: a newly released biography that explores the life of the Tulsa-raised musician. Rich Lenz spoke with the author of the new book to learn more about the remarkable career of Claude Russell Bridges.
Bill Janovitz, who has written a definitive biography of Leon Russell, joins us. Here it is. And Bill, why did you choose Leon as a subject?
I came into Leon land basically as a teenager, a very young teenager, maybe even 12, when I got the Mad Dogs and Englishmen record, which just was captivating to me. And it's right up there with Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones, or Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder, as records that I bought into most formats. I just love how that era of like the post-psychedelic era of rock and roll goes into the 70s, and specifically that gospel strain, and even more specifically that gospel piano thing. It's just that certain groove that Leon brought to things.
For a lot of people who are huge Beatles fans, they got the concert for Bangladesh, the all-star cast, and a somewhat, I think, little-known guy named Leon Russell. He pretty much stole that show, didn't he?
Leon on a stage with two Beatles, Eric Clapton, Billy Preston. He comes out and Bob Dylan, not to mention Bob Dylan, but unabashedly comes out and does a Rolling Stones cover for about, 15 minutes of Jumpin' Jack Flash. That was their point of entry for Leon Russell, and that really skyrocketed him to stardom.
Bill, tell us more about his days with the Wrecking Crew and some of the songs he played on and his time there in Los Angeles.
Just like the old days, the old Dust Bowl days, the Oklahomans went out to California this time to sort of make their way with music. But Leon became a first call guy amongst this elite cadre, if that's how you pronounce it, of musicians that became later known as the Wrecking Crew. There's a documentary about them, but they were the people that played on all kinds of hits, from Sinatra to the Beach Boys. And so Leon was on California Girls, he's on Mr. Tambourine Man, he's on Be My Baby. To even begin the list is like just a tip of the iceberg.
How important are his Oklahoma roots, and exactly, what is the Tulsa Sound, and is Leon the Tulsa Sound? Take us through that.
One of the great Wrecking Crew figures was Tommy Tedesco. And he said that when he first met Leon was kind of nervous. He didn't know what to play on a certain track. But Tommy said, don't worry about what to play. Just play that Okie blank. They'll love that stuff. Just be Leon Russell, and they'll eat it up. Nobody plays like you do. And sure enough, he said he played that Okie stuff, and in his terms, and he just became Leon Russell. They just found that certain groove, and everybody wanted it on their records.
Came to the piano very early on, right? Those formative years. I mean, he's been a piano player, had one in his house, I guess, since he could walk almost.
From what I've gathered, Leon could have been regarded as one of the great child prodigies of that instrument. But in Leon's own estimation, due to his birth injury, he suffered a partial paralysis during his birth on his right side, due to likely a faulty forceps delivery, which probably kept him from being like a classical prodigy. But it really kind of helped with his gospel and soul and R&B style.
Bill, tell us about the importance of the church studio to his career.
Leon really thought of the church not only as his own clubhouse and a place to record, but he looked at this almost more as a place to give back and to provide a place for musicians to come and work out, young musicians in particular. So Elton John came through there, so it's an important piece of Tulsa history.
Leon said that Elton John, if I get this right, found him in a ditch on the side of the road of life in his later years. Now, is that hyperbole? Is that accurate?
Elton does have this bit of a revelation of a realization that, man, what this guy meant to me, I've got to find him. What's he been doing? But Leon had made a lot of bad decisions. He had a lot of bad luck. He made some poor choices. Some of it was sort of, T-Bone Burnett, the producer, says it was almost as if he was being willfully obscure. So, yeah, that quote surprised Jan Bridges, Leon's widow, and his bandmates. But Leon felt like, wow, here I am on the stage of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame getting inducted. And this is really because of Elton John's efforts.
Bill, just a fantastic book. I'm racing through it right now as we speak, and I'll just give you the final the final say. In your opinion, Leon's legacy is what?
How would I describe Leon's legacy? I think he's a musician's musician, right? This is long overdue. I mean, even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that should not have been, as they say, it should have been no-brainer, but it became this real effort to get him in there. But I mean, the guy defined rock and roll. Label owner, studio owner, first call piano players, are selling out arenas the size of Led Zeppelin's touring operations at the same time. I mean, and he was a lifer himself. I mean, he played from the earliest ages and right until almost the day he died.
Bill Janovitz, yeah, it's a big one. It's definitive. There's no question about it. You'll be in town in Tulsa for a book signing, so hope folks will come out and see you. Thank you so much for your time. Great information.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
Bill Janovitz will kick off a nationwide book signing tour at the Church Studio in Tulsa on Saturday, March 18th from 10 a.m. until 4 in the afternoon.